محمد رسول الله.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to episode 2 in the Proofs of Prophethood series. In this video, I'm going to be going through Al-Qadi Abdul Jabbar's second argument, which is kind of similar to what I was trying to do in my lecture on the Proofs of Prophethood through the eyes of Aisha. I argued that by determining the sincerity of the first generation of Muslims and by looking at their motivations for believing in Islam, we come across proofs for prophethood. In other words, the faith of the Sahaba in of itself is a form of a proof of prophethood. Al-Qadi Abdul Jabbar started off by arguing that the Prophet ﷺ started off his mission solo and ended with like armies of followers. Now consider this, when Musa a.s. was sent to Bani Israel, they themselves were already descendants of prophets, they believed in God, they had prophets before him. They were a people that were victims of oppression and they were also looking for a way out. So the people of Musa a.s. had a very strong motivation to believe in his message. The same applied to the prophets that came after them, who were also descendants of Israel, and this trend continued with pretty much all the prophets of Bani Israel up until the time of Isa a.s. On the other hand, with the Prophet ﷺ, things were quite different. He wasn't sent to a group of monotheists. He was sent to a group of polytheists who didn't believe in prophets, that didn't even believe in an afterlife. They didn't believe in praying, they didn't believe in fasting, and when he came with his message, he had to make a lot of changes. So it was quite hard for them to adopt those changes. They didn't have as much of a motivation for them to follow the religion of Rasulullah ﷺ as previous peoples had when they followed their own prophets. However, they simply followed because they believed. Now, someone may say, well, maybe they only followed him because they wanted some of that war booty or something like that. Well, that doesn't really make much sense if you consider the following. First of all, Rasulullah ﷺ wasn't known to be a man of war or an expert military strategist or anything like that, so why would they rely on him? Why would they make him their leader? Secondly, why would they need to follow a different religion, go against their idols, go against their family members? Why would they have to start to follow these rituals like fasting a month per year, praying 5 times a day? It doesn't really make much sense. So yeah, they followed him because they believed. Now keep in mind that the tribe of Rasulullah ﷺ, Quraysh, were with him in his battles. They took part in Badr, Uhud, Al-Ahzab, and pretty much all of these battles. Now keep in mind that when they fought in Badr and Uhud and Al-Ahzab, on the other side were their family members also from Quraysh. You had sub-tribes like Bani Adi and Bani Taym and Bani Umayyah and Bani Makhzum. You had them on both sides. Now why would they go to war with one another if they didn't believe in the message of the Prophet ﷺ? Now that's for the Muhajirin, those that were with him that migrated to Medina. What about the Ansar? The Ansar historically are a more interesting story because the Ansar are made up of 2 tribes, Al-Aws wal Khazraj, and they were for the longest time at war with one another. However, they made peace and they allowed the Rasulullah ﷺ to rule over them. An interesting verse that comes to mind: وَاذْكُرُوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ عَلَيْكُمْ إِذْ كُنْتُمْ أَعْدَاءً فَأَلَّفَ بَيْنَ قُلُوبِكُمْ فَأَصْبَحْتُمْ بِنِعْمَتِهِ إِخْوَانًا. Al-Aws wal Khazraj not only took in the Muhajirin, but they supported the Rasulullah ﷺ in all his wars, and like they went to war with pretty much the rest of Arabia, again, because they believed. Not only that, but when the Rasulullah ﷺ passed away, they allowed Qurayshis to continue to rule over them. There's so much to say about Al-Ansar, but perhaps that's another video for another time. Now, someone may argue, hey, just because a group of people believed in Rasulullah ﷺ doesn't mean that he's necessarily a prophet. Well, I agree, but here's the thing. This is why this is a series. It's the cumulative evidence that builds the case for Rasulullah ﷺ. Not just, hey, these people believe, therefore he's a prophet, but there's so much more to this. And inshallah, as the series progresses, it will become clearer and clearer. for video number 3 coming up tomorrow, inshallah. Stay tuned for that. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
محمد رسول الله